but it's kind of like the same argument that I just told you about the pet peeve. That, yeah, we're doing things better, but you're, before I even get into that, because I'm jumping the gun because I know there's a second video. Apparently, the guy's getting pushed back on what he said is, so he coming back and he's made a second video.
By the way, I'm not talking about complaining about injustices because injustices should be complained about, or should speak up about those things. What I'm saying is, in context, what I'm saying is that I rarely ever hear us being grateful. We complain. We make our voices loud when it comes to complaining. But are we grateful for all the things our ancestors done for us? Are we grateful for where we've come today? Are we grateful for for the white people trying to even make it right? For those who did try to make it right, are we grateful for them? Not. This is a lot of people don't like talking about stuff like this, but I'm gonna ask the real questions because we got to think here, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I just hear complaining. It's nothing wrong with complaining, but balance it. Balance it with some gratefulness, some gratitude, some thankfulness. It is not nearly as bad as it was in the 50s. There are a lot of things that's still injustice and still that's bad. I'm not saying it's not, but let's be grateful for the things that.
So
And
to be
that's not
fair,
something I
yeah,
did. He just trailed off. I don't know what happened.
no, that's cool. Be fair to the brother because he is trying to get to a valid point that I've often tried to get to as well, and it's really hard to do it. Like I struggle with the words, and I'm probably going to struggle here today, right? But it really comes down to uncentering whiteness, right? Now, where I take exception out of all the things he was saying was, are we grateful for the white people? No. Okay. For those white people who do right and do good things, congratulations. Thank you for being a good person. But I'm not going to give you a cookie for that, right? You're doing what you're supposed to do. The energy needs to be focused on the ones who are causing harm because that's the ones who are motivated to cause you harm, right? Um, if you are waiting for me to pat you on the back as one of the good ones, you will be sorely disappointed because I'm going to see you as just a good person. I could give a rat's ass what color you are because my problem is with the white people who are trying to cause my people harm. If and so what he's trying to get at, I think, is that there does need to be a balance, right? There does need to, but the thing is that balance doesn't always need to be vocalized at the same time. That's where my problem is with people who are saying things the way he's saying it. Because what he's basically saying is, these are bad. Now let's also talk about the good, and we got to do it at the same time. And I'm saying, no. Sometimes you need to just talk about what's bad, and sometimes you talk about what's good, right? Juneteenth. We celebrated Juneteenth before it became a national holiday because of the freedom struggle with respect to that piece. It wasn't even about just Galveston, Texas, and our brothers and sisters in slavery who finally were emancipated. Because part of the American story, because you got to say this part of the American story is yes, we were emancipated, but emancipated is not the same as free. Look it up, the definition. So we were emancipated into abject poverty. We were emancipated into second class citizenship. We were emancipated into the convict leasing program. We were emancipated into generational poverty. So fuck that. I'm sorry. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time clapping about the good people who ended slavery. I'm going to say thank you for being good people and fighting. Just like I say for the black people, thank you, right? I owe my ancestors. I have a shirt that says it. I walk down the street, freaks people out. Says I owe my ancestors. Yes, I do. I'm an walking embodiment of the blessings of what their suffrage was. But that that's not the thing, right? Like we have to get to the point where we stop celebrating the struggle. Okay? I've heard it said before, where we overcome. No, we suffer through. And the problem is we have to learn how to stay angry, stay motivated, and get organized and get back together without being under oppression's thumb. See, oftentimes people will look back with the rose-colored glasses on our people during segregation and say, but we were so much closer together then. You're damn straight we were. If you go to a prison, they're pretty close together. They're forced into it. Okay? What I'm saying is now that the walls are down and we're not in apartheid, but we are still set upon, we need to get that community, sense of community back together. We got to get that organization back together. We got to get that energy back together because the fight isn't over. What we owe our ancestors is to continue the fight. And we can't continue that fight, in my opinion, if we're always trying to find a way to clap in the middle of the fight. This isn't the time to celebrate. This isn't. This is the time to take a breath when you can. But before you tell me you're tired, before you tell me sometimes you can't always be serious, Theus. Sometimes you gotta be able to take a break. Yeah, that's true. If your ass is serious. But if you're always looking for a break, I don't take you serious. Be serious, then take a break. Don't take a break from being serious. Come on, I mean, it's just a thing. So the young man, I get where he's trying to go. Focus on the building. Focus on what you have accomplished. Focus on where we have come from. Focus on what we're trying to get to. That's a valid conversation. The brother is right on that in that respect. But his message gets lost because he's talking to a bunch of people who are in the midst of a freedom struggle, who don't have time to be listening to you about celebrating some other people. It's lost on someone like me. It just is.
Yeah. I want so badly to say I get where he's coming from, but I can't. I just can't. I can't. I've tried. I just can't do it. Because what you want us to do is be grateful for the most minimum things that this country has given to the Black community. And that bothers me. You're and again, that's why I had to stop myself and play that video, because again, that whole we're better than we was in the 50s. And the 50s was better than slavery. The hell is your point?
Right.
It still sucked. I mean, and the 80s were better than the 50s. It still sucked. We are
Right.
better
It still
now
ain't
than
got
we
right yet.
was in the 80s. Guess what? You get the gist what I'm saying. My point is, I do not want that argument out to be grateful for, and maybe I'll put it to you this way. I'm not going to be grateful for something that you gave us that we should have already had. If that makes sense.
I think the terminology matters.
Yes, I don't. I can't be grateful for what you give in the white community, and now you're slowly trickling down to the Black community, and you're saying be grateful for it. I can't, because we're still 200 years behind. They're systematically. If you're looking at all the stuff that's going on in this country right now, since you want to use the 50s as an example, they're purposely trying to put us back in the 50s. Now, thank goodness the Supreme Court did challenge three voter rights situation. Appreciate that. Then you turn around and eliminated affirmative action. One step forward, which you want us to be grateful about, 5 steps back. So I'll let you finish, Theo, because it's like I can't get with you, dude. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't get with